everyone, so today I have a first impression video for you, and the product I'm going to be testing out is this BareMinerals BareSkin Pure Brightening Serum Foundation, and this does have an SPF 20 in it. Basically I've been looking for something that, I feel like I'm always looking for something that works well with my skin. My skin has been so dry, it's like going through a complete freak out because I just moved from one climate to another. I was from the Midwest, so it was more humid environment, and now I'm in the Southwest and it's extremely dry here, so my skin is just like lacking moisture altogether. And I've been doing all these moisturizing treatments and like super thick moisturizers, and like I still get like dry patches, like my forehead kind of feels like sandpaper, and even though I exfoliated this morning, it's still kind of like dry and patchy feeling. So I've been struggling to find a foundation that's going to look nice on my skin and not cling to dry patches, and my cousin recommended this foundation for me by BareMinerals because she knows other people have tried it and that I've liked it a lot. So at this point I figured, why not? It's worth a shot. And just so you guys know, I picked this up at Ulta, and this is in the shade Bare Porcelain 1. It is literally the palest shade that they have, and it is like the teensiest bit too dark. I did a swatch of this on my hand in the store and it looked like a perfect match, but it's just like slightly, you know, but I feel like you would really have to look at my skin to see the difference between like my neck and my face. Hopefully it's not super noticeable. But it did retail for $28, which isn't actually that bad compared to most higher end foundations that you would find on that side of the store in Ulta or in Sephora. So to me this was a cheaper one, so let's go ahead and get into it. So let's get into this foundation. I have the information on this foundation pulled up on my phone, so I'm going to quickly go over it for you guys. So this is supposed to be a skin-loving formula with no silicone, oil, parabens, fragrance. It is hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic. I know I said that wrong. And it's been dermatologist tested. It's clinically proven to improve the appearance of dark spots, skin brightness, and skin texture. Coconut derived based with jojoba coated mineral pigments and non-chemical broad spectrum SPF 20. It is a supercharged lilac plant stem cells, and vitamin C will help reveal a brighter, more even toned skin. It is an ultra thin, silky texture. 1 to 2 weightless drops naturally transform, soften, and smooth your skin complexion based on 8 weeks of use. So they're saying that 100% women after 8 weeks of using this foundation experience a more even-toned skin immediately after application, and 95% of women experience a measurable improvement in dark spot areas. It has vitamin C, lilac plant stem cells, and titanium dioxide, which are the main ingredients in this. And it says to use, this came with a brush, so it's very similar to the Physicians Formula serum foundation that came out, I want to say about a year ago. You're supposed to use a brush with it. I didn't buy that because it's just, I feel like it's just a gimmicky thing, and it's another way for the company to push a product to sell, so I didn't buy that. But they say that you're only supposed to need 1 to 2 drops of this to cover your whole face and foundation, and I kind of find that a little hard to believe. I think it's going to take more than 2 drops of foundation to cover your face. So now let's get into actually applying this. I just did what I normally do before I do my makeup. Today I exfoliated my skin and I put a moisturizer on. I know a lot of people when they test products, they just don't do anything to their skin. But for me, and I'm also probably going to put a primer on as well. I like doing what I would normally do to see how the foundation will work for me from day to day, because I can do nothing on my skin and have a foundation work great and say like, okay, cool, like this product works awesome, and then put on a moisturizer and primer and then not have it sit right on my skin. So I like to give it the true test of how I would go and wear it on a daily basis. So for primer, I've been using my Nivea Men Aftershave Balm, so I'm just going to use a little bit of this on my face. And this has glycerin in it as its main ingredient, so it's just really going to help the foundation sort of just stick and last all day. So I just take a teensy amount and just sort of rub it all over my face until it gets tacky. And once your skin starts to feel a little bit tacky, that's how you know that you are done with the primer. So the main thing with these serum foundations is that you want to make sure that you shake them really well. I like to shake mine for about 20 seconds just to be safe, and then the cap just pretty much pulls off, I believe, or it twists. It twists off, and it looks looks like while I was shaking it, some of the foundation sort of blooped out there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to kind of dot this along my face, and I'll start off with this and see how far it gets me. I'm going to use my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. This really isn't, I didn't freshly moisten this. This is still a little bit damp from 2 days ago. It's just not completely rock hard. I don't want to wet this because I feel like with it being a serum that a lot of the product will just get sucked into the sponge. So I'm using this while it's kind of on the dry side because I feel like I'm going to get the most full coverage by doing it that way. So I can already see that it's just kind of covering up the spots on my face, but not really. It is spreading out nicely, but I don't really see how 2 dots are going to cover my entire face. And I can see how this would easily stick to any sort of dry patches that you would have on your face, so that's one thing. And then, yeah, see how this side goes. I feel like you would really have to layer the foundation on to cover up any sort of acne spots that you have. I feel like this might be something nice for someone that doesn't really need coverage. But even that dot didn't get all the way down my face. It just sort of covered this section. So I don't really think their whole 2 dot method is accurate. And then just for the hell of it, I will use a foundation brush to apply the foundation to my forehead. So for that, I'm going to be using this Morphe M439 brush. It's nice and dense. I kind of prefer using the sponge because, I don't know, I just feel like when you have dry skin, using foundation brushes, it just makes it a lot easier for stuff to cling to the dry patches. Whereas using a sponge, you're patting over it, so you're not like sort of rubbing around it and irritating the dry skin that's on your face. So that's why I personally prefer to use a beauty blender. Or whatever makeup sponge, it's not technically a beauty blender. You know what I mean. Okay, so now that I have this on my face, I mean, you can still very much see your skin underneath this foundation. And I just feel like it just added color to my face. I don't really feel like it did much of anything for me. I'm going to go ahead and try putting a second layer like on this area at my forehead and my chin because that's where I have the most redness, and I feel like the foundation just didn't really cover a lot of that up. And even with the second layer, I feel like it still isn't covering up that acne spot that well. I also just feel like this is like a dry foundation to have sit on top of your face. Like it doesn't really feel wet or anything. It actually feels a little bit drying to me. Okay, so I kind of put a second layer on, and I feel like I really shouldn't have because now I feel like my face kind of just looks cakey. Like you can see the foundation sitting on top of my skin. Like, I don't know. And I just feel like the foundation also did not go on evenly. I feel like it set really quickly, so you don't really have that much time to sort of spread it around your face. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on and see how it looks, but I just have a feeling that the rest of my makeup isn't going to sit well on top of this, but I'll be back. So I have my face makeup on, and surprisingly the powders went on really nicely, I think. You can pretty see them. I think it's nice and noticeable, especially with the bronzer and the blush. It just kind of blends nicely together. And I use my NARS Laguna bronzer and NARS Orgasm blush, and I use Becca Moonstone highlight to top it off. The only thing is when I used my liquid concealer, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the Brightener shade, this looked so pink compared to the rest of my face because this foundation is very yellow based and then this is very pink based. However, I never really noticed like how pink it could look until I paired it with this foundation. So if you're going for more of a natural look with just hoping to wear some foundation and concealer and use this concealer, it's not gonna look right. Like, you kind of need to do the rest of your face for everything to sort of blend and pull together. I don't see the powders being patchy in any areas, which is a plus. The only downside is that this zit is still like popping. So it didn't really do much, I feel, to cover up any spots. But yeah, let's just see how this wears throughout the day. It is 2:55 p.m. right now, and I will check back in a couple of hours. Hey guys, so sorry that the coloring is a little bit off. It's trying to, like, my camera's picking up the colors of like the wallpaper, and it's kind of giving it like this yellow hue instead of being like a good white balance. But anyways, it's the end of the night for me. It is 9:45 p.m. So I've had this foundation on for almost 7 hours now, and I'm just ready to wash my face. So that's why I'm calling it a night. I do feel like the foundation wore alright for what it was for 7 hours. You can see my zits like completely, like it doesn't really look like there's much covering them up. As far as the powders that I put on, you can, my highlights like still barely shining through there, but I feel like that's just because Becca has really great highlighters. My powder, can't really see any blush or anything. Maybe on this side for some reason I feel like I can still see my blush and contour. Not so much on this side. Like, my bronzer is like very faintly there still. So the makeup pretty much stuck throughout the day. One thing though is my dry areas, which is right here on my forehead and my chin. Like, there is a redness. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up. I apologize for the bad lighting. I ordered a ring light and it was supposed to be here by now, so I'm still waiting for it. So any more first impression videos should have really good lighting for the end of the night, and I shouldn't be in my bathroom anymore. Back to the foundation. So this is definitely, I would say, a sheer to light coverage. I wouldn't give it anything more than that because it really didn't do much to cover any of my like acne spots up, even with a second layer. It's very lightweight, however, it doesn't really feel like you're wearing a foundation throughout the day. It just feels a little bit heavy now on my forehead, and I think that's because that's where I put a little bit of extra coverage, and like right here on my cheeks, but this is also a dry area, so it does feel like there's something on the dry areas, if that makes any sense. But I would recommend this to be a good everyday natural foundation. I would not recommend this for special occasions or anything, just because it didn't really offer much in coverage. If I didn't have dry skin, then maybe it would be good at evening out your skin tone, but like I said, I would just use this as an everyday foundation. So if that's what you're looking for, then I would recommend this. If you want something with coverage, or you want something for a special occasion, you need to try something else out. So that is my review of this, and I hope you guys found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!